Silly boo, everybody, and welcome back to the HabWrap. I am your host, Harry Rice. You are watching the friendliest and funniest source for anything and everything Montreal Canadiens. We've got something to talk about. We got a game that happened. The reason that we're coming up here I'm assuming this is going up around 2 a.m., is because we had a late game. It was a game against the Utah Mammoth in Utah. We were starting at 9:30 at night instead of the usual 7. We've got a late game, but to compensate, the NHL said, hey, we'll give you some early games. So Friday and Saturday, we are coming up at 3 and 4 p.m., I believe, to do those games. The games are happening at that time. We'll probably be up around 7, 8 o'clock with the reviews for the games. So, yeah, we had a game tonight, like I said, though, against Utah, and we've got some interesting stuff to talk about coming out of that game. However, before we can talk about the actual game, we got to go through the lines and the roster move that happened prior to this game. At the same time that Alex Bolduc was signed, the Canadiens announced that they called up Adam Engstrom for some reason. Engstrom's having a good year in Laval, and he would be playing tonight, but for some reason, Texier wouldn't be. I might have said the same time we signed Alexander Carrier, I meant Alexander Texier. They have slightly similar names, so I think you guys can understand why I might have confused those. So, yeah, Engstrom getting the call up. He would get into the lineup. We'll see who comes out for him. The opening lines now for the Canadiens were Caulfield, Suzuki, Bolduc, Slafkovsky, Kapanen, and Demidov. Jack-Eye, Evans, Anderson, and Davidson, Veleno, Gallagher. On the blue line was Matheson, Dobson, Struble, Hudson, Engstrom, Carrier. That's right. So Arbor Jack-Eye, for some reason, gets the scratch tonight. I have no clue why. Engstrom is a literal rookie, but I still would have trusted him over Jaden Struble, and I would trust Arbor Jack-Eye over Jaden Struble. I have no clue why Struble wasn't the scratch, but yeah. Either way, Engstrom making his debut tonight, and he wouldn't do anything. I'm just going to say it right off the bat, he was completely just invisible out there tonight. No real good offensive... actually, I think he had one decent offensive chance. No real amazing defensive chances. But it's his NHL debut. Assuming he plays on the... I believe it's Colorado and Dallas road trip. I believe that's what it is. Then, assuming he gets one of those games and Jack-Eye gets the other... I assume Engstrom will look better in his second game, whether that's Colorado or Dallas. Hopefully he does, obviously, but we shall see. Jakub Dobeš gets the start between the pipes for the second straight game, and Samuel Montembeault backs him up for tonight. He will be forced to go in for one of the games because it's a back-to-back, Friday and Saturday. So obviously you're not going to play you're not going to play Dobeš both those games, and you're not going to play Monty both those games unless one of them play the game against Colorado. We somehow keep them to like 11 shots, then maybe they could go in the next game, but I still wouldn't. But regardless, you get what I mean. Both goalies will get a game over the next 2 games. The opening lines for the Mammoth were Keller, Hayden, Schmaltz, Yamamoto, Cooley, Gunther, Peterka, McBain, Krause, and Tanev, Stenlund, Carcone. Sergachev, DeSimone, Schmidt, Marino, and Cole Dursey were on the blue line, and Karel Velmelka gets the start for Utah. I put specifically he's had a bad statistical start, because if he's playing anything the way he played tonight, he is one of the better goalies in the National Hockey League. He had a very good game, despite what the stats again would tell you. Vitek Vanacek will back him up, as he's probably used to doing at this point. And as I mentioned, Adam Engstrom makes his NHL debut tonight. That's my before the game thing. So, in the first period, Jack-Eye has a good hit on Dursey in the opening minute. Dursey, who apparently was just coming back from an injury as well. Thankfully, he would play the full game. It wasn't like, oh yeah, he played the first 40 seconds and then he was done. No, he took the hit. Demidov has a good near 2-on-1 chance. He does take the shot, but that gets blocked by, again, Sean Dursey. Davidson was the guy who was speeding in on him. It was kind of during a line change. Jack-Eye ends up spring. It's so weird saying Jack-Eye referring to Florian and not Arbor now. But Jack-Eye springs Anderson in on a rush. He has good poise. He takes the shot, but that's gloved down by Vejmelka. Struble gives a puck away to Schmaltz, but he takes the body. Jack-Eye's line presses. They couldn't get a shot. They did seem to have an extra step, though, tonight. I really liked the Jack-Eye, Evans, Anderson line. They seemed to generate chances. They weren't getting a ton of shots on net, but then again, with what the final shots were, just potentially getting chances, it was pretty good, actually. I do like that third line. Would not be surprised if, when everybody's healthy, Newhook, Doc, Laine, would not be surprised if that's the fourth line, actually, because I think they had a good game tonight. Stenlund's in on a rush. Dobesh makes his first save 6 minutes in. No, I didn't miss a goal call. We did the Utah didn't score on their first shot, surprisingly. The Habs go to a power play 8 minutes in. Hudson's tripped up by Jack McBain. I knew I was going to make that mistake. Jamie McBain is no longer playing in the NHL. He's tripped at 8:02. It's a good call because McBain does not get puck first. He had lost his edges second earlier, so just not throwing the stick out, but just swiping the stick. Literal, just a last-ditch effort. Hudson near the slot. He has a good pass. There's a good stop by Vejmelka there. My God, sorry. Utah clears on the next faceoff. Hudson breaks in, and a great stop by Vejmelka. Hudson's in on a kind of a 2-on-1. The pass across to Caulfield, and he is robbed by Karl Vejmelka. I can tell that the Utah defense is not great because, Vejmelka was the reason this game was even close. At the point this game was 2-0, spoilers, it probably could have been 4-0, actually. Vejmelka, I thought, had a good game, despite the low amount of shots he would face. Utah clears, but the net comes off as Ian Cole went crashing in, and then the Habs get a 5-on-3. Moments later, Demidov breaks in, but he's hooked, so there's going to be roughly a minute of extra time. It's like 53 seconds. It's something like that. But regardless, it's a 5-on-3. Utah clears twice. There's a Caulfield shot that goes way wide. Sergachev nearly springs McBain out of the box, but good play by Dobson to, good awareness in general, but good positioning to not allow that to happen. Habs come back the other way. They cycle it around, and they score! Wow. Right circle one-timer. Call him Zach Ovechkin. Zach Bolduc. He scores 1-0. Habs on the power play with 9:22 left in the first period. Bolduc, like I said, he gets a power play goal from Hudson and Suzuki. So one of the hottest power plays that turned into one of the most anemic power plays. They get on the board first. Habs are 1 for 2 on the power play tonight. Bolduc with a beautiful shot. Hudson and Suzuki, I know for sure Hudson extends a point streak. I don't believe Suzuki does. He might be on a 3-game point streak, but I believe it's 4-game minimum that it's 3-game minimum, so I think he's on a 2-game point streak, but regardless, Nick Suzuki had a very good game, which we will talk more about soon. Utah pushed, but there's a stop by Dobesh. He ends up holding on a shot rebound that went wide of the net. There's a Cooley pass to, as I put, Gunether, but Gunther. That's a pro wrestler. The Gunther, but just offside on what would have been a near break for Gunther. Habs get lucky there. Carcone, good shift there. I really like Michael Carcone. I wish that he could score at the 20-goal rate he scored a couple years ago. But good energy guy, good fourth-line type guy. If we buy out Brendan Gallagher after this year, which we probably should do, he's looked like ass recently. Or if we trade him or Anderson's contract, I would not mind signing Carcone on a 1-year deal. That's assuming he leaves Utah, is a free agent this year, but I would not mind getting Michael Carcone for that fourth-line spot. I quite like the guy. He can score. He gets a little bit physical. A decent two-way game. I like Carcone. Good shift. He comes around the net. Nothing for him. There's a Sergachev shot stopped by Dobesh. Evans finishes his check on a man in the corner. I like that. Habs get a good shift from the third line. Whew. Jack-Eye. Jack-Eye nearly gets a centering feed. Engstrom gets it, and it's gloved down. Jack-Eye and McBain then get involved in a scrum after the play. Utah push afterwards. There's a shot in and out of Dobesh's glove. They then press. Cooley sets up a good cross-crease chance, and that is stopped by Dobesh. Dobesh had a good night. I would say good night. We'll get into why it's probably not a great night for Dobesh, as it probably should have been. There's another shot stopped. A Sergachev slapper from the line is held with 5 left. Florian has a good hit at neutral as Utah is called for a hand pass. Suzuki's hit from behind. It's not a rough one, but it's just, it's just one of those kind of, shoulder to the back, just knock the guy down. Habs immediately get the push, get the puck back. They press, they get on a rush, and we score. Nick Suzuki with, I believe that is his 400th career point. Congratulations to the captain, Nick Suzuki. He scores with just 3:23 left from Caulfield and Bolduc. Bolduc finds Caulfield, who just goes across Suzuki with a beauty of a shot. That makes it 2-0. And then Matheson takes a tripping penalty with 2:40 left. So Mike Matheson has not completely shaken the Mike Matheson of old, as he does take bad penalties when we need them to not take bad penalties. Andy immediately clears, though. That's with 2:40 left in the period, by the way. Andy immediately clears. Gunther has a one-timer blocked by Carrier. Andy clears again. Cooley comes in with speed. Veleno with a good stick to break that up. Veleno's been pretty okay on the power play, actually. On the penalty kill, since Newhook went down. Veleno's actually not been completely horrible, so I do think that if, assuming Texier gets in next game, I would not be surprised if, even by the time this podcast comes out, it would not be surprising to me if Davidson is sent down by then. I thought Davidson didn't look that good tonight. I actually forgot he was on the team for, stretches of the game, because that fourth line really didn't look good for most of the night. I can't say they didn't look good. They just didn't look. They didn't look bad. They didn't look good. They were a line. So it wouldn't surprise me if Davidson is sent down just to get him more ice time in Laval. I know he was scoring like crazy before we called him up. I think Texier just fills that fourth line role a little better. I won't be surprised if he's in the lineup for the Colorado and Dallas games. Like I said, it wouldn't surprise me if by the time this comes out, if it's released that Davidson was sent down. So Habs are 1-for-1 on the penalty kill, and the shots are 7-6 for the Canadiens. They have a 2-0 lead after the first period. In the second period, Utah, in the opening minute press, Dobesh panics, going from holding to passing a puck out. I think he realized that far out from the crease would probably get called for too many men. Sorry, I lost my place in my notes. Caulfield has a good puck battle. Suzuki beats an icing out. Hudson has a really good hold at the line. He gets a shot, but that's wide of the net. Caulfield beats an icing. He gets one. He gets a shot, but it's off the mask of Amelka during a line change. Hudson gets a shot off. That's stopped from the line. Hayden on a rush. That's in and out of Dobesh's glove. His glove has not been good this year, Dobesh. Rather, he's allowing goals that he should easily stop glove side, or it's like that where he makes the save technically, but it's in and out. Dobesh needs to work on that a lot more, and I'm hoping, because that's really his only legitimate weakness. I mean, his confidence. When he's not confident the way he really wasn't after that 6-0 start, for some reason, that faltered him. But now, because he seems confident again the last two he's played, it's really just the glove. Just fix that glove so you can actually hold onto a puck. But yeah. Gallagher, as I put it, skates right into Cooley's shoulder. Well, not shoulder, but he skates right into Cooley's shoulder. He was going for a check, and Cooley just gave him a reverse hit. It wasn't a dirty hit. It was clean shoulder to the chest, but just, Jesus Christ, Brendan Gallagher. If you can't knock down Logan Cooley, just retire right now, dude. Give us that cap relief so we can go out and trade for Ryan O'Reilly without having to give up anybody. Jesus. Yeah. And then Karl Vejmelka completely robs Zach Bolduc on a great cross-crease look from Caulfield on a rush. That was a great stop, and this is where it should have been 4-0 for the Canadiens. Yeah, those two cross-crease... Sorry. Those two cross-crease chances. Most goalies in the NHL don't make that save. Zach Bolduc played very, very well tonight. And it's frustrating as hell because Bolduc has 1 point at home in the Bell Center this year. He's got I think he has 10 points this year now. He's got 9 of his points on the road. So it's good to see guys like him that can play well on the road. But ideally you want him also connecting at home. Like you'd want him to have 15 points by now. You know? Like you'd want to take 3 of his road points and give those to him at home. That's what you'd want. You'd want him to be playing well both. Carcone tips a shot just off the side of the net. The Habs get lucky. Back the other way, Flo rushes in. There's a shot stopped and deflected out. And 9:07, the Habs go to the penalty kill. Carrier's called for delay of game for puck over glass. Mammoth press hard. There's some cycling. Andy can't get a clear after getting a touch on a puck. It's basically just a deflection. But yeah, he can't get a clear, unfortunately. And they score. Do the Mammoth. Hayden gets it in the right circle. I thought Dobesh needed to make that save. I thought that's one he easily could have had. And I say that as more of a compliment to him rather than just, oh, wow, he allowed a shit goal. No, it was more of a, he could have made that save and he should have. You get what I mean, I'm sure. But, yeah, Hayden scores after a bit of a puck whack. It gets to him and he puts it home in the right circle. That's at 9:43. Hayden with just his 3rd goal of the year. Scores from Keller and Sergachev. Both of them now with their 13th assist on that goal. That's pretty funny. Suzuki is held down. There's no call. Sergachev skates it out the other way. Utah hard pressure. There's a shot that just trickles by the net. That gets cleared. Jesus, that was too close. Dursey was coming in, but Dobesh ends up waiting him out. Caulfield's on a clean break the other way. Vejmelka with the save. My God, Caulfield needs to score that. No clue how he doesn't. And then back the other way. Mammoth tie the game up with almost exactly 8 minutes left. That's with 8:02 left. Yamamoto ties it on a sprawling Dobesh. Kapanen doesn't cover him, but yeah, Dobesh, that's definitely one he wants back. If the first one was just, it was a good shot, this is the one he's going to want back. Yamamoto with just his 3rd of the year. Scores from Gunther and Cooley on that one. And then they score not even 2 minutes later. Fuck, who else would it be? Michael Carcone, the guy I've been complimenting all night. He scores on a second chance as Dobesh dives out for no reason. Struble also kind of took Dobesh down there. Yeah, Struble at least once a game now has these really garbage defensive lapses that really should be getting him benched, but instead seems to be getting Arbor Jackeye benched. Every time Struble has like some really bad D plays, it's always Arbor getting punished. So yeah, maybe Marty should start showing some fucking tough love to Struble instead of Jackeye. Jesus. Oh, yeah, and then here we go. After the goal, bit of a line brawl. I mean, there's not gloves being dropped, but everybody's tied up. We have a full-on brawl. For 4th line for both teams are involved. Yeah, that was caused by Jared Davidson. He was shoving Brendan and Tanev. Everybody gets involved, and yeah, I think that's probably going to be it for Tanev, for Davidson in the NHL for a while, because Utah goes to the power play. Montreal gets the extra. It's Davidson and Tanev, both 2 for roughing, and Davidson with an extra 2 for unsportsmanlike. I actually do like that because you give one team the extra man advantage, and that's going to cool the shit right down. And what do you know? That was essentially the last of any potential scrums that this game would or could have had. Especially with how many guys are very physical. Jackeye, Struble, Carrier, Anderson, just on the Canadiens. And, you know, I feel like McBain, Sterling, Sergachev, I feel like DeSimone is one of their physical guys. this game could have gotten a little bit ugly. So I think it was actually smart for the refs to just, hey, call an extra for one team, get it cooled out. That's how you control a game. So Utah goes to the power play. They cycle. I believe it was Cooley has a shot just wide. Oh yeah, by the way, Logan Cooley now involved in, I believe it was, they said 6 of the last 7 Utah Mammoth goals after that Carcone goal. So yeah, no, I think it was after the goal he had an assist on. So yeah, regardless, after tonight, 6 of their last 8 goals he's been involved in. Quite impressive, despite the 2 empty netters against Vegas. Not really that impressive, but let's keep going. Sergachev has a slapper stopped by Dobesh. Andy doesn't clear. Evans can't clear on a sprawling defenseman. And then they finally clear because Utah misses a pass at the line and they basically clear it themselves. Habs, regardless, are, I believe it's 2 for 3 on the penalty kill. Anderson then tries to start shit after a whistle, and he hides behind his teammates. There's a puck that jumps over Hudson's stick. He does end up coming back to it, passes the puck, and then Gallagher says, nah, Utah, you have it. He gives it away. That leads to a 3-on-1. Thankfully, Dobesh doesn't need to make a tough save. It's just the guy who first has the puck, he shoots it. Dobesh makes the save. Utah press in the last minute, but there's a board play that leads to nothing. The Canadiens trail the Utah Mammoth 3-2 after the second period. The shots are 19-12 for Utah. In the third period, Dobesh has a good glove on a redirected shot by McBain. There we go. Really good one, actually. Minute 53 in, Habs actually get a power play. Yamamoto's called for a clear hold on Slavkovsky, and Canadiens score. Yuri Slavkovsky, the guy who drew the penalty. He gets a one-time pass off of Lane Hudson. He finds that with a wide-open net just 30 seconds into the power play at 2:31. He scores from Hudson and Bolduc. The Habs are 2 for 3 on the power play tonight. But wait, Utah calls the timeout. They look at it, and they are going to challenge for offside. As it turns out, looking at the replay, Slavkovsky just jumped the gun ahead of, I think it was Hudson with the puck originally. And yeah, it's ruled, it's a no-goal, and damn it. So the Habs, they actually then get away with a trip as Slavkovsky had tripped a member of the Mammoth. The crowd starts booing immediately. They wanted a call there. But the Habs, they get back in the zone, they start to cycle, and they score! Bolduc has a shot sort of off the post, I believe. The rebound gets to the captain. Nick Suzuki wrists it home for a 3-3 tie game. Suzuki gets it from Bolduc and Gallagher. Remember, Suzuki is getting double shifted on the power play with both Newhook and Doc being hurt. That comes at 3:20 in. The Habs, for real this time, are 2 for 3 on the power play. So Big Dick Nick, 3-point night. I think it's safe to say, taking these couple days off really healed up that leg injury that he was having. So big night for the captain. He's got 3 points. He's involved on all 3 goals so far. We'll see if he can get one more. He's also on hat trick watch. Schmidt has a big hit on Demidov after a board play. And he says, fuck it, I'll get on the scoreboard. Ivan Demidov scores. Just after that hit, he gets it on a rush. He wristed by the glove of Valmelka. Habs take the 4-3 lead right back from the Utah Mammoth. He gets that from Kapanen, his 5th of the year, by the way. He gets that from Kapanen and Demidov at 4:47. So just a minute 27 after the Habs tie it. They've got the lead. That comes on a good rush, like I said. And good wrister just puts it over the glove. And it's behind him. Utah can't get out of their zone for a minute straight. That's not because the Habs are pressuring. Just Habs just keep them in. Just pass it. You take it out. No. You take it out. No. I can't take it out. They just couldn't get out of there. And then the Habs go to a penalty kill. Kapanen's called for 2 for they said it was high sticking, but it was basically a cross check. But he's called for a high stick on Hayden right in front of the net as the thankfully it was not a cross check to the nuts. Jesus, I don't want to know how that would feel. But it was right in front of the net as the Mammoth looked for something. Utah pressed. There's a good high stop by Dobesh. Habs got to clear off some board play. Suzuki and Veleno, good sticks to get it cleared. This is where Veleno was quite good on the penalty kill, I thought. Habs end up clearing again. Habs 3 for 4 on the penalty kill. Carcone breaks in with speed. There's a good stop there. DeSimone has a wide open net, bottom of the right circle. Dobesh was very lucky that DeSimone misses there. I think it's... DeSimone misses. Utah keeps pressing, but the Habs starting to really kind of bunker down and play solid D with about 8 minutes left. Utah not being given much here at all. There's a sudden turnover, a good pair of stops by Dobesh with 6 minutes left. That's after a bad turnover. Habs just kind of playing collapsing D, sort of prevent defense, but I mean, not necessarily. Utah with 2:30 left, they get a shot, rebound, Dobesh makes both saves. There's an empty net for Utah with 2:13 left as the Habs ice a puck. Utah press off a Stenlin, one draw, but an eventual clear by the Habs with 1:50 left. Suzuki wins the next draw, but that gets iced. Utah barely keeps the puck in at the line. Dobesh with a good pair of stops on Schmaltz. Holy shit, the Habs ice it immediately. Suzuki then hits the post on an empty net with 30 seconds left. He would have gotten the hat trick. That would have been awesome. And the whistle is blown. It's called an icing, but they do move the face-off to center. The refs realized they messed up. They thought it was going to trickle wide, and they blew the whistles. But, like I said, it's at center. Habs just playing the puck against the boards, trying to kill time. Gallagher, I believe it was, just ices it with 3.8 left. Right off the draw, Mammoth can't get to it. Habs are going to win it. Final horn goes. We get a couple shoves being exchanged. Sergachev's out there showing that he really wants to be back with the Canadiens. Habs win it 4-3 in regulation. The final shots, believe it or not, were 34-17 for the Montreal Canadiens. That is right. Almost outshot by double. But despite that, the Canadiens still hold on for the win. They get the win in in Adam Engstrom's first career National Hockey League game. And by the way, the Montreal Canadiens now, with Florian Xhekaj in their lineup, they are 2-0-0. Florian could be the good luck charm that these guys need for the year. I'm hoping that's the case. So yeah, a game that the Canadiens are very lucky to win in. They probably did not deserve the win. But then again, with the really good chances they had early in the game that were stopped by Vejmelka, this technically could have been a 6-3 game. If Suzuki had hit the empty netter, a 7-3 game. But then again, if they're down by 3, they probably aren't pulling the goalie, you'd imagine. So, yeah. But regardless, yeah, one that the Canadiens were not great in, but they got the shots and the opportunities when they needed to. A team that has the highest shooting percentage in the National Hockey League, it's not going to stick. We got to be able to dominate games, and I'm really hoping that's going to start happening soon, but we shall see. Regardless, let's get into the stats and then work our way on out of here because we are nearing the half-hour mark, and I would like an episode to not be 45 minutes for the first time in a while. So, the captain, Nick Suzuki, leads the team with 7 goals, 19 assists, 26 points. Goal, Caulfield's got 13 goals, 10 assists for 23 points. He is now on a 5-game point streak. Lane Hudson with 3 goals, 16 assists for 19 points. He's got 5 points in his last 4 games. Ivan Demidov with 5 goals, 13 assists, and 18 points. He is on a 4-game point streak with 4 assists in that span. Noah Dobson's got 3 goals, 13 assists for 16 points. He's got 5 points in his last 4. Mike Matheson, 4 goals, 10 assists, 14 points. He has 5 points in his last 4 games as well. Oliver Kapanen has 7 goals, 5 assists, 12 points. Alex Newhook, who's unfortunately hurt, has 6 goals, 6 assists for 12 points. Yaroslav 7 goals, 4 assists, 11 points. Zachary Bolduc with 5 goals, 5 assists for 10 points. Brendan Gallagher with a goal and 9 assists for 10 points. Sorry. Josh Anderson has 5 goals, 3 assists, 8 points. Kirby Doc, who's unfortunately hurt, has 5 goals, 2 assists, 7 points. Jake Evans with 3 goals, 4 assists, 7 points. Alex Carrier with a goal and 6 assists for 7 points. Jaden Struble with 4 assists. Caden Gooley, who's unfortunately hurt, with a goal and an assist for 2 points. Joe Valeno's got a goal. Arbor Jacki, Patrick Laine, who's unfortunately still hurt, and Florian Jacki each have an assist. Arbor Jacki also leads the team with 3 fights, rocking an 18-game pointless drought. That does not update, again, because he wasn't in the lineup tonight. It wouldn't make sense to update it. Jaden Struebel's got 2 fights, and Caden Gooley, Joe Veleno, and Florian Jacki each have a fight. Each have a fight. Yeah, that's right. Jakub Dobeš, to Jakub Dobeš's stats. There we go. He is 8-2-2. He has an 8-2-2 record. He's got a 2.89 goals against average and an 897 save percentage. So still below 900, but he's slowly inching that thing up. Samuel Montembeau's got a 4-5-1 record with a 3.71 goals against average and an 852 save percentage. I'm sure that's also going to go up at some point as he starts getting a few more starts. But, alas, we shall see. That is going to do it. That's going to do it for today's episode of the HabWrap. Thank you all so much for watching. Please do not forget to like and comment and subscribe if you're on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button as well if you're on YouTube. Hit that follow button if you're on Spotify, Amazon, wherever you're listening to this. Yeah, thank you all again so much for watching. Always remember, no matter how good we are like last year, how good we are like this year, and how good we'll be in the future, go Habs go, Adam Montreal. And say it with me, everybody. C'est le but!